Welcome to episode 10 of Electric Transport. So you thought batteries couldn't be exciting? Well, they are now where companies are focused on investing literally billions of dollars. They're where the landscape for future transport is being carved out, and it's where a literal battle is going on for survival in the EV market. The stakes couldn't be higher as the auto industry has finally realized that battery production and performance are key components to competing in this EV space. This episode, I'll explore the importance of batteries to the world of EVs and lift the hood on some of the fascinating trends occurring right now in the world of EVs as they relate to battery production. The time for electric transport is really exciting. Tesla has led the industry and started some big changes towards electrification. The industry, including the largest automakers, now recognize the need to shift to electric. To quote an Inside EV article, Audi has announced a full-blown electric offensive with 17 models coming out in the market by the end of this year and $12 billion investing in electric vehicles, which should have 20 new models by 2025. The most exciting one, in my opinion, is the Sportback. It's a coupe crossover SUV that should have very similar driving and handling capabilities as the e-tron, and it'll accelerate very similarly at 4.5 seconds, should have a 355 horsepower, and have all the luxuries of the Q8, the ICE equivalent, and the e-tron. Now, the e-tron came out a few years ago, and it should be absolutely killing it. It ticks off a lot of boxes for SUV owners. It is a bit pricey, but still delivers on range and luxury and performance, and in many ways an excellent choice for anyone considering a luxury brand electric SUV like Audi. But they're not killing it. In the last 12 months, they sold 5,369 vehicles in the United States. So why haven't they been selling more? Well, partially there isn't much cooperation from the Audi dealerships to actually carry inventory. But the main issue has been battery shortages. Audi sold just over 26,000 e-trons worldwide and had to suspend production due to lack of batteries, which just shows you the thresholds are extremely low before they run out of supply. They have an agreement with LG Chem, a large South Korean battery company, which produces batteries for, among Volkswagen and Audi, a lot of other companies. It seems like LG Chem has had back orders in their battery production and so has caused shortages for Audi, but also Mercedes with their EQC, Jaguar with their I-Pace. So what we're seeing here in the industry is that it turns out that battery supply is absolutely critical to the production of electric vehicles. In order to make a splash in the EV market, you need to have the components for your vehicle production. You need to have the raw materials for the body and frame. You need to have what's known as a skateboard, which is the foundation of the vehicle in EV world. So it is a battery, drivetrain, and electric motors all manufactured together. In addition, you need to have the software interface. This is something that traditional automakers haven't quite got right, but Tesla started off as a software company basically that produces cars, and so they got this right off the hop. In addition, you need the batteries. So batteries, as it turns out, is actually the bottleneck for EV production. You need to have sufficient quantity of batteries being able to be produced to be able to produce the EVs that you want to in the market. Tesla realized this early on in the game and almost 10 years ago built the first gigafactory in Nevada, which is the Gigafactory 1. It had a then unheard of capacity of 23 gigawatt hours per year. It's now increased its capacity, even though they're not utilizing it at the moment, but it has a further capacity of reaching almost 54 gigawatt hours per year. Then the second gigafactory in New York State, and then the third one, which opened last year in Shanghai and is now producing vehicles and batteries, and then the Berlin gigafactory, which is due to open this year. All combined will give Tesla an unheard of capacity for batteries of 154 gigawatt hours per year. In the case of other automotive companies who haven't realized how important it is to integrate battery production in the plans for EVs. There's a lot of wheeling and dealing going on with battery manufacturers. This is just a summary of some of the deals made with battery manufacturers between automakers in the last few years, and this is just scratching the surface. A123 Systems has since gone bankrupt, only to be bought out by the Wangqiang Group, the same company who bought out Fisker Karma. The largest manufacturers are Panasonic with Tesla at 23 gigawatt hours per year, followed by the Chinese company Contemporary Amperex Technology, or CATL, with a capacity of 12 gigawatt hours. And then the Chinese company BYD with about 7.2 gigawatt hours per year. It's interesting to see how the automakers are securing their supply. Tesla is planning an expansion of production with Panasonic, but has also struck a deal with the second biggest manufacturer, CATL. There's a lot of speculation of the implications of this, which I'll talk about in a few seconds. The South Korean LG Chem is the fifth largest battery manufacturer at 4.5 gigawatt hours per year and supplies batteries for many of the key automakers, hoping to make a big splash in the EV world. Look here, you'll see some examples. You've got Tata, which owns Jaguar and produces the I-Pace. You've got Volvo, Hyundai, Ford, Chevy, and for now, Volkswagen. In the case of CATL, apart from potentially Tesla in the future, they now produce batteries for BMW as well as many other auto manufacturers, but also mining companies as well. BYD, the third largest battery manufacturer in China, produces batteries for electric buses. LG Chem has already been investing to expand their production from 4.5 to 65 gigawatt hours per year with a plant in Poland, with the help of a 500 million euro loan from European Investment Bank. Volkswagen has taken the lead here and signed a deal with Northvolt, a Swedish gigafactory. Apart from financing from large European lenders, it seems like Volkswagen is investing about $1 billion into this venture, and it's hoped that the capacity will reach about 16 gigawatt hours per year. So here's the thing. Until companies get serious about focusing on battery production and battery supply, all the announcements in the world and all the good intentions and all the publicity and marketing aren't going to help them make any sort of significant changes into the EV market. So GM, despite having a EV day earlier this month and promising $20 billion to be spent over the next few years to develop EV markets, they don't currently have a large battery supply, so it's hard to take these announcements seriously. So until companies like Ford, Chevy, Hyundai, Volvo, and Jaguar, Mercedes figure out similar solutions, they'll likely never really accomplish much market gain in the EV space. So there's a race for automakers to capture a percentage of the EV market share by securing the essential sources they need for battery production. Whether it's by vertically integrating their production in-house or making alliances with large manufacturers, automakers are vying for securing their battery sources for production. But there's another race on for battery technology. Companies are investing billions to develop the technology itself. Batteries are still limited in charge density, controversial or rare and expensive minerals that they contain, production costs, and the number of cycles that they're capable of for charging and discharging. Tesla has announced a battery investor day in April, which may or may not still go ahead, where it's anticipated Tesla will announce some exciting new changes. It's expected they'll present a large deal with CATL, and who, by the way, produce prism cells. Tesla's interest in prismatic cells is a shock since they've achieved a much larger charge density and performance with cylindrical cells. So there's been lots of speculation as to why they might consider prismatic cells. One theory is that prismatic cells from CATL are actually lithium iron phosphate, or LFP. LFP batteries will contain zero cobalt, making them cheaper and less controversial to manufacture. In addition, they could be manufactured straight from cell to pack, making production more efficient by assembling them straight to packs. Traditionally, the Model S, X, and 3 have been made from cells to modules and then the modules to packs. This is much less efficient because the modules take up space themselves. It's estimated that this may save Tesla up to 25% in costs for their battery manufacture. They'll likely use this for producing a cheaper Tesla for the Chinese market. It has been speculated that Tesla will announce a production cost for their batteries as surpassing a milestone of being less than $100 per kilowatt hour. BYD, battery manufacturer, announced March 30th that they're releasing something called a Blade battery, which is an LFP battery, so it doesn't contain any cobalt, and can be manufactured and go straight from cell to pack as well. Instead of the prism shape, they're shaped as a blade, so they can be made more densely packed than traditional LFP batteries. This would be a huge advantage over a prismatic type shaped battery which can't be packed as densely. Also, don't forget about the Tesla acquisition of Maxwell Technologies and Hibar. Tesla was expected to announce at their battery day some leaps in battery technology. They are anticipated to be announcing a cheaper, more energy dense, longer range battery at this event, and Maxwell Technologies is thought to be involved in this. It could also involve a deal with CATL. So to summarize, batteries are getting cheaper, lighter, higher charge density, capable of more cycles per charging, and longer range. In addition, companies are securing battery production. Tesla with Maxwell, Hibar, and CATL, LG Chem, BYD are all working at increasing battery production capacity and increasing battery efficiency and cost of manufacturing. This all points to an exponential growth in EVs in the world market, which is good for all of us. This has been Electric Transport. Don't forget to hit subscribe, please hit like, and the bell, you'll be reminded when a new episode comes out. Thanks for watching.